Just about everyone knows of the miracle on the Hudson. How Captain Sully Sullenberger and First Officer Jeff Skiles made an incredible water landing that saved countless lives. But what if I told you that decades earlier, a commercial airliner also ditched safely in the water under some pretty critical conditions, with every second in the balance? Today we're going to explore the little-known yet equally astonishing water landing over the Puget Sound. A story of a split-second decision and calm under pressure that saved 32 passengers and their dedicated crew. Welcome back to Aero Exploration and another installment of This Week in Aviation History. Today we're going to tell the tale of the incredible water landing of Northwest Airlines Flight 2 on a crisp morning at Seattle-Tacoma Airport. Northwest Flight 2 was scheduled to fly its daily route between Seattle and New York, with a stopover in Portland, Oregon and Chicago, Illinois. For this specific flight, they departed SeaTac at around 8:06 in the morning on an instrument flight plan. On board the aircraft were 32 passengers and their crew of 6. Captain Robert Hurd, First Officer Gene Johnson, Flight Engineer Carl Thompson, and Flight Attendants David Razzie, Eleanor Whitaker, and Dorothy Ottling. The aircraft took off from runway 20 and began its climb. At this point, the wing flaps, which were set to a normal 25-degree takeoff position, were retracted as the plane began to accelerate to about 145 knots. But immediately after retracting the flaps, the crew was hit by some severe buffeting and an uncontrollable roll to the left. Captain Hurd was quickly able to surmise that they had a split flap condition at play. This is a condition where one of the flaps on the wings is retracted and the other remains either partially or fully down. In an effort to alleviate their buffeting, power was briefly reduced only to be restored to maximum continuous power a short time later. Despite all this chaos, they were able to contact Seattle Tower, tell them about their condition, and Seattle cleared them to return. But the captain at that time decided against charting. Now the reason he did that is because of the persistent control difficulties he was having, and a turn might make that worse. As the crew worked the problem, the situation continued to worsen, and it became clear that the aircraft was steadily losing altitude. The system started to show them that in addition to this buffeting, they were showing some of the telltale signs of fuel leakage. So in those critical moments, not unlike Captain Sullenberger, Captain Hurd made a decision to ditch the plane in the Puget Sound. So the crew made their descent, configured for their water landing, and at 8:10, touched down on smooth waters at an airspeed of about 120 knots. So with this smooth touchdown, there was no abrupt acceleration. Passengers and most of the crew were able to quickly evacuate through the main cabin door and the emergency exits. Meanwhile, Captain Hurd and the first officer conducted passenger counts before they themselves exited through the cockpit windows. Once they got out of the aircraft, they then swam to the wing and assured that everyone was safe. So after this daring landing, the aircraft began to fill with the frigid waters of the Puget Sound. The water temperature was around 42 degrees Fahrenheit, and after 15 minutes, the aircraft sank to the bottom of the Sound. Now, all the survivors were rescued within 30 to 35 minutes by surface craft from those frigid waters. There was a detailed investigation into what caused this incident, and following that investigation, it was determined that the probable cause of this near-catastrophic incident was not a malfunction of the aircraft itself, but instead a critical error in flight preparation. The flight engineer had failed to close the engine cowl flaps to the power takeoff position. This oversight resulted in improper settings of the wing flaps, leading to that severe buffeting and eventual loss of control that the flight crew encountered. In a situation where every second mattered, the crew's ability to quickly diagnose the problem, forced Captain Hurd to make this agonizing decision: to ditch the aircraft in the frigid waters of the Puget Sound, rather than risking continuing the flight in incredibly dangerous conditions. This incident is a powerful reminder that sometimes even the smallest oversight, something as simple as having something set incorrectly, can have some far-reaching consequences, which force the pilots to rely on their instincts and training to save lives. While the miracle on the Hudson has captured public imagination in recent years, this water landing, executed under similarly harrowing conditions in the Puget Sound, remains one of aviation's unsung successes. The crew's swift actions, calm under pressure, and the conditions of the water landing itself all contributed to a successful ditching. From this incident, everyone in aviation can learn a valuable lesson about the importance of checklist discipline and pre-flight system verification. It also underscores the need for rigorous training and development of robust emergency procedures, practices that continue to shape aviation standards today. Even in the space of general aviation, the importance of emergency procedures is really impressed upon students early on in their journey and continues throughout their career as a pilot. If you found this story and deep dive into aviation history compelling, please hit that like button, leave your thoughts down in the comments, and subscribe to Aero Exploration for more installments of This Week in Aviation History.